Hello friends, welcome to the farm.
Grab a spoon, because today we're going to be testing, tasting, and tweaking our way to a perfect homemade yogurt. So not everybody's this excited about yogurt, but we have really gotten into it. You want to tell them why?
Yeah, well actually I thought yogurt was pretty boring, and before about 15 years ago I never ate yogurt, really.
Yeah.
But I had a chance to go to West Africa for a couple months, and the folks that we stayed with made yogurt a couple times a week, and it was a really nice yogurt, and they used it in savory dishes and cooking, and I saw a whole different side to yogurt. And in fact, when we came home, we made our own yogurt.
Yeah, we started making yogurt and using it more, and it was good. I mean, I liked it, but I wasn't like excited about it until lately.
Yeah. So recently, though, you've heard before, we're working to help an Afghan family adjust here to the States, and they make their own yogurt that is the most beautiful, tasty yogurt that makes it, I feel like we're missing the boat on this whole yogurt thing.
It's different than any yogurt I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
At first we're thinking, is this yogurt?
Yeah.
What is it? It's really good. And we came to learn it's a special kind of yogurt she makes.
So that started the quest of, we got to find this yogurt because we loved it so much. How do we make it?
Well, first we tried buying a bunch of different yogurts to try them, and none of them taste like that.
No.
None of them. We even tried some ethnic stores, different markets and stuff. Couldn't find that yogurt anywhere, so we tried to make it.
And you have all the variations, you know, and in fact, like here, this is skyr, and then the Greek yogurts, which are really popular here in the States, but nothing really came close to what we had. No.
So we realized we had to use her starter, some of her yogurt, to make our own yogurt, so it would taste like hers, because it'll end up tasting like whatever yogurt you used to start it with.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's got the whatever the cultures in the yogurt, they're just going to carry on to the next generation. So we had to find, how do we get the starter, and how do we continually make this beautiful yogurt?
All right, so food safety. You're going to have to be patient, because we're going to have to nerd out for a little bit. Well, he's going to nerd out and give you the details.
Yeah, it turns out that you really have to be careful making yogurt, you know, because milk, when you think about it, it's like the perfect medium for all kinds of bacteria to grow.
Good and bad.
Yeah, so, you know, because of that, the USDA came out with guidelines for selling yogurt in the U.S., and there's two dominant cultures that have to be in it for it to be safe. The Lactobacillus bulgaricus and the Streptococcus thermophilus.
Say that 5 times fast.
Now, what a nightmare if you're a marketing executive and you're going to go put it on one of these cans. Well, like Streptococcus, that sounds awful, like you got the strep. You know?
Yeah.
So in fact, actually, if you look on the containers on the back, you'll see it. But oftentimes they just abbreviate instead of lactobacillus, they'll just have an L. And Streptococcus, they'll have an S.
S.
So that's their way of getting around it.
Plus, they probably run out of room on the containers.
Yeah, but it turns out that it's really important. They're viewed as like the dynamic duo of cultures. You know, once they get in there and do their thing, they take over so strongly that any of the native bacteria, yeasts, or molds can't really grow. Okay, so we know that fresh yogurt sold here in the U.S. is very safe because of the dynamic duo we talked to. But in my opinion, the yogurt that you buy at the grocery store is very boring. I know that now, having traveled and seen and enjoyed many of the yogurts from around the world. So while companies cannot sell yogurts with fresh yogurts from around the world, they can sell you yogurt cultures that are freeze-dried. So for the balance of this video, we're going to talk about freeze-drying yogurts at home, and also purchasing yogurt cultures, reconstituting them, and enjoying amazing yogurts from around the world.
So like we said, we tried a bunch of different yogurts, couldn't find that taste anywhere. And I remembered I got kombucha SCOBY, and kefir starters from a place called Cultures for Health. And I started looking, they have yogurt cultures, and we started reading about it, and one of them, Bulgarian yogurt, said it was tart and tangy. So we thought, we'll give this a try. And it's good. I don't know that it's 100% like the lemon stuff, but it is very good. I mean, we're happy with it. We love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you how to make it with the Cultures for Health Bulgarian yogurt starter.
Yeah.
And basically what it is, it's freeze-dried yogurt.
So we can't recommend that you go and make your own yogurts with the lemons or the chilies, but this is a legitimate source with a food safe
U.S. food
USDA,
safety guarantee.
Yep.
And then if you go to the rig store, they're not cheap to buy the initial starter. But then once you make a batch, as long as you save a couple tablespoons from each batch, you're ready to make the new batch. And what I want to try is I actually want to make a bunch and then freeze dry some yogurt to make sure that works as a starter. So I always have good starter on hand.
And this isn't a commercial form.
No. And there might be other places you can buy Bulgarian yogurt. I just knew them because I'd bought from them before.
Yeah, and we don't have any
was
discount codes for you or anything.
Sorry. But Cultures for Health Bulgarian yogurt. Now I'll show you how we make it. All right, gonna make the yogurt using their powder, their freeze-dried yogurt. And the instructions say to heat it to 160 degrees. And then anytime you make yogurt, you do heat the milk up to usually 160 or 180 degrees. But then you have to cool it to 110 because if you put the cultures into milk over 110, it'll kill the cultures. So first I have to heat it up.
You know, we haven't really talked about why we like this yogurt more than other yogurts that we've had here in the U.S.
Yeah, it might not be everybody's taste. It is very tart, tangy. It just feels crisp, clean. I don't know, it's just good.
Yeah. And to me, it's definitely good with savory dishes. Mm-hmm. And until you've had other rices or other dishes that are mixed with a sauce that you make with the yogurt, you don't really know.
But now that we've been using it with savory stuff, last week I made a butternut squash thing with like cumin and different Indian spices, just chunked. But having that squash with a little bit of yogurt on the side was to die for.
Yeah.
It was. Now we do eat it sweet in one instance. We love this yogurt with just a little tiny dollop of apricot jam. Other jams are good too, but apricot is the best.
And I like it better because I like the difference between the tart of the yogurt and then the sweet. If you have a real mild kind of a sweeter yogurt, it doesn't make the taste as strong from that little tiny bit of sweet that you put with it.
Yeah, it's the
differential.
Yeah, that's what makes it good.
Yeah.
But it's weird. We really are into our yogurt. So now I just have to get this up to 160 degrees and then let it cool down.
You know, we really need to hear from our friends around the world. We have a lot more viewers from all over the world. We need to hear from you about how you use yogurt, and because it's really different than what we do in the U.S.
Yeah.
We're kind of limited to just sweet yogurts and diet yogurts.
The Afghan family have introduced us to new food. She's made us a couple dishes. One is called mantu. It's the most amazing thing I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
But it's on like a bed of yogurt. And it's like it sounds weird, a dumpling, but not a dumpling like U.S. thinks of dumplings. It's a very thin dough with meat and something inside and a sauce over the top. I don't know exactly how it's made, but there's yogurt on the bottom. And it's delicious. I need to learn how to make it. All right, so it cooled down to 110. I'm going to pour it in the jar. That's actually going to cool it down a little bit more. And then mix in the magic from Cultures for Health. I poured the powder from Cultures for Health in. Just have to stir it up real good. And then it has to sit somewhere roughly 110 degrees for at least 5 hours. After 5 hours, you start checking it every hour or two to see if it's set up. And apparently if it's not set up after 12 hours, you just go ahead and put it in the fridge and it sets up in there. So I'm gonna get this mixed up and I'll show you where I keep it warm. I'm fortunate enough that I have a proofing box. I use that when making bread and other things. but it's perfect for yogurt because I can keep it at an even 110 degree temperature. Now, you can do it different ways. Some people say, you know, wrap it up in a blanket, put it like in your oven, but there's the oven light on to keep it warm. We used to put it in a cooler. We would put it in a container, we would wrap it in blankets, put it in a cooler, and then put big jugs of hot water in the cooler to keep it cool all night. We used to do it overnight.
To keep it warm all night.
Yeah, well, cooler, keeping it warm.
Yeah.
But there's all different ways. If you look online, there's different ways to keep yogurt at a warm temperature while it incubates. So we'll be back in 5 hours to see how this looks.
In Africa, it was so hot, we just kept it on the counter.
Yeah, because it was over 100, so.
Yeah.
Here it's not. It's freezing today, so it needs to be kept warm. All right, so last night we ended up taking the activation batch out of the proofing box and put it in the fridge for the night. It was not set up. It was still pretty runny, and this is it after sitting in the fridge all night. Okay, but they even have a note on here saying if the activation batch doesn't set, you can still use it to do another batch, to reculture a new batch of yogurt. So I'm using the activation starter batch to do a real batch of yogurt. And we can use this. We'll probably just drink it or something. But and we did have video of all this. But when I went out to do the chicken coop this morning, I left the chip on the island. What do you think happened to it? She got a mighty stern talking to. So we don't have video of last night or this morning making the new batch.
I guess it's lucky that I'm not in the doghouse because there's plenty of room for Ruby now.
Yeah, she was in the doghouse for a while. She's getting out of it, but so we made the second batch. I did the same thing. I heated the milk and I actually heated it to 185. The activation batch, they say 160, but most yogurt instructions say heat it to 185 to 200. So I did to 185, cooled it down to 110, stirred in 2 tablespoons of last night's activation batch, and it's now in the proofing box. So hopefully in about 5 to 8 hours, we'll have a thicker batch of yogurt to taste. Well, I took that runny activation starter, made a new batch of yogurt. In 5 hours, it cultured to a nice thick yogurt. Now I'm turning most of that into frozen yogurt, and I want to freeze dry it. And then I'm going to take some of that freeze-dried yogurt and see if I can turn it into another batch of yogurt. I just want to make sure I always have yogurt starter on hand for yogurt that we like. So, see how it goes here. Yeah, we have a 5-tray freeze dryer, and you're supposed to have things spaced evenly. You can do a small load, but you have to have things spaced evenly on the trays, not have empty trays, or that confuses the freeze dryer, I guess. So, we're going to spread these out between the 5, put them in the freeze dryer, and see how long it takes. The yogurt's done in the freeze dryer, and I was going to just be putting it in a container in cubes, but it just powders. But I did learn something. I actually gave the freeze dryer extra dry time, but when you get to the center of the ice cube thing, it's not done. The centers are still not freeze dried. So I'm going to powder all that powders, and the rest I'll probably just freeze, just keep in the freezer and use. So I'll just powder the rest. The big chunks that won't powder, I'll put in the freezer. Then I'm going to turn around and make some yogurt. See if it works. I hope it does. Okay, so there's several ways to make yogurt. One method is just to go to the store and buy some yogurt with live cultures, use a little bit of that in some milk that's been heated and cooled, and you make yogurt.
Your favorite yogurt that you know you like.
That you like the taste of.
Yeah.
Or you can do it like us. We had to use this powdered stuff from Cultures for Health because we were looking for a specific taste. So you can buy a culture, turn that into a batch of yogurt, and keep making yogurt with that.
So that's called a starter culture. Okay.
And then hopefully my freeze-dried stuff will do the same thing.
Now, people have been enjoying yogurt for like 5,000 years, and they didn't do it either of those methods, though, did they?
No, there's some wild ways.
Yeah, so it's thought that the original yogurts came from, you know, folks carrying milk in animal skins and having it turn into yogurt, like the stories you hear about butter and a lot of other things produced that way.
We're not going to do that way.
No, but There are communities now that make their own yogurt using wild cultures.
Yeah.
And there's several ways to do that. Some of them with the chilies, particularly the stem on the chili. They use
Little
that.
tiny chili peppers with the stem.
Has wild cultures, or some using grains and rice, or some even using the lemon to make it. So we're not going to cover those. We did try them. The problem is that it's a wild culture. You don't know what you're getting. So, concerning about food safety, we can't recommend that. However, I know there are people around the world who do it. They understand, what they have and the bacteria, and they do it fine. But here in the States, we're going to just continue to use either our favorite yogurt we can find at the store, or this starter culture, which we're pretty high on right now.
Now we have to see if my freeze-dried yogurt does turn into nice, beautiful, thick yogurt. So here's the yogurt I made and freeze-dried and mushed up. It's not quite a powder, but it's just all ground up into a fine
It looks like
pieces.
a powder to me.
It's close to it. Now I want to make sure this will turn into good yogurt. So, just like all the other yogurts, heat the milk up, and I'm going to heat it to 185 degrees. Then cool it down to 110, and then I'll put that freeze-dried yogurt in. And we'll find out in 5 or 6 hours to make sure that is a live culture and it will culture the milk. So, fingers crossed.
I'm ready for some good yogurt.
I am too. I'm hungry for yogurt.
Yeah.
We haven't had it for a day or two, believe it or
I
not.
know. It looks like
Will.
you got good health today.
You want help with the yogurt, sorry. Sorry. Got the milk up to 185. Now it's down to below 110. So I'm going to take my freeze-dried yogurt and mix it in here and then put it in the proofing box to incubate. And we're going to see if it turns into good Bulgarian yogurt. And online, they have amounts as far as how much freeze-dried you use to make a quart of yogurt. Now, if you're just using yogurt from the store, it's 2 tablespoons of whatever yogurt you want your new stuff to taste like.
Is that per quart?
Yes,
2
per quart.
tablespoons Per quart. Okay.
And this isn't quite a quart because that's the last of our milk.
Okay.
So now I will cover this, put it in the proofing box, and we'll see what it's like in 5 or 6 hours.
All right.
Okay, so I made the first batch with yogurt that we freeze-dried. And we got it going yesterday. It was not set up by the time we went to bed. So I'm thinking, uh-oh. And I let it go. I actually woke up at 2:30, came down, looked, it still wasn't set up, but it had been 12 hours. So I took it out and put it in the fridge. Didn't have high hopes. We got up this morning and tasted it. It didn't taste good either. So I'm thinking, okay, I can't freeze-dry yogurt and make it.
Too soon to tell, though.
He said, remember when we used the freeze-dried from Cultures for Health the first time, the first batch wasn't set up. So we made a batch with that runny, questionable yogurt from the first batch of my freeze-dried yogurt.
And it didn't smell like yogurt or taste like
No,
yogurt.
but this does smell like yogurt. Now I want to see if it tastes like yogurt.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
Moment of truth. Cheers. It's perfect.
It's got great tang to it.
That's amazing to me because
Yeah.
the first batch I made with the freeze-dried did not smell right, did not taste right, and didn't set up. But I used a couple
reading some of the other sites, they say that don't be discouraged.
if your first batch from freeze-dried doesn't set up.
Yeah, it's kind of like an activation batch or starter again.
Yeah.
So
that worked.
Okay.
This is actually then the 4th generation.
Yeah.
Because we made the one from Cultures for Health. We made a good batch. I freeze-dried that batch, and I made a starter, and then I used the starter to make this. Used an activation starter, then made this. So this is a little bit further along than these
that's
guys.
encouraging.
Yeah, because then after we started reading this morning, we learned about home freeze drying is so much different than commercial freeze drying. And I didn't reconstitute it. If you watched, remember yesterday, I just stirred it right into the milk. So we experimented. I did a batch where I reconstituted my freeze-dried yogurt with water and then mixed it into
So you just gave it a
milk.
couple minutes to absorb and
Yes.
to reconstitute fully. Okay.
So this is right from freeze-dried, but I reconstituted it with water before I mixed it in with the heated and cooled milk and then put it in the thing. And it's set up beautifully. It smells good. So now we're going to see if it tastes good.
Okay, so this is technically a third generation. Yep. Okay.
I know this is confusing. We're just excited that they taste good. Cheers. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Wow.
So I can make yogurt with my own freeze-dried yogurt.
Okay.
I will always have starter on hand.
All right, so that goes right from freeze-dried right to a finished product.
I just reconstituted it first.
Okay, so that's an important step.
You got to reconstitute it. Cultures for Health, you didn't. I guess it's so, I don't know, freeze-dried differently. You can just stir it in. Mm-hmm. But if you do it yourself, reconstitute it. Now, or if you remember, when I freeze-dried my yogurt, the inside of the ice cubes didn't freeze-dry. They were frozen. So I thought, well, let's see what happens.
Balls
yeah, let's see what happened if we use those little frozen pieces. So I thawed them out, a little bit of one, and made a batch with the frozen yogurt that was kind of freeze-dried, but not really.
So this isn't really freeze-dried. It's
no,
just
this
mostly
is more
just
frozen yogurt.
Okay. Which they say you can freeze it.
Yeah.
But you did it differently. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's not quite as tangy.
No, and there's a little different taste at the end.
And it's thicker. It's
okay, that's my least favorite. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Now, this morning, I got really crazy. I thought, okay, I did more reading, and they said, since home freeze-dried is different than commercial freeze-dried, it's not as strong, not as potent. So they recommend when you use home freeze-dried yogurt, you make it stronger. So I took more of my freeze-dried yogurt, reconstituted more of it with milk.
What'd you do, like double it?
Yeah, I doubled what I used the first time around.
Okay.
And I cultured it I rehydrated it with milk and then made a batch. So now this is from the freeze-dried yogurt, but recultured with milk and a higher quantity of the culture.
I read where they cautioned you sometimes that it can change the character and nature of it. So I'm curious to see how it goes.
Here you go.
Light and beautiful.
Yeah.
It's good. It's equal with these three.
Yeah, these three are all wonderful.
Wow.
So you can make yogurt with your own freeze-dried yogurt. Mm-hmm. Whether you if you don't reconstitute it, you have to make another batch to get the good flavor. If you reconstitute it, it's good right away.
Wow, that's awesome. So this deserves more experimentation.
Yeah, I don't
because
know.
I know that in the readings that you can freeze it.
And it might have been because it was in the freeze dryer. It just didn't freeze dry.
Yeah.
So that was an experiment that didn't work. The other ones, I am thrilled.
Yeah, this is exciting. Who knew yogurt could be such fun, you know?
As I said, not everybody gets this excited about yogurt.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, it turns out there are a lot more manufacturers and distributors, vendors that have a bunch of yogurts out there to try. So there's one that's called, was it Positively Probiotic?
We're going to put lists of these down below, the different sites that we found and that we're going to be trying. Because now that we found it has like 30 different yogurts, we're going to be trying more yogurts.
Yeah, the thing about them, I encourage you to go to their website. They have terrific directions, and then they have, what do you call it, with customers back and forth and sharing information. And there are some real excellent ideas on that. So we're going to go there and try a bunch more and see
So
what
we're
we
even
like.
more excited about yogurt than when we started the video. And we're going to try more. But yeah, we're going to put all the sites down because there is more sites than Cultures for Health. That's just the only one I had ever used.
And we're going to do another video because it turns out, even beyond this, selecting different cultures, there's a lot you can do to modify what your yogurt is. I mean, the simplest is just draining the whey. And if you like the Greek yogurt, you drain more whey and you have
there's special strainers, all ways you can strain it. But even just to slightly change how thick it is by how you incubate it, or if you want it tangy or not as tangy, there's all different things you can do.
And
to
even when you have the initial milk, when you heat it, if you keep it up over 180 degrees, some of them do it for a half hour.
I've never done that. It
changes the proteins, it's called denature, and in the end, it changes the outcome of the yogurt. So we're going to cover this more in another video.
We're still going to be doing more experimenting, but meanwhile, we have lots of good yogurt to eat.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yep.
Now we need to get our apricot jam and have some yogurt.
Absolutely. I'm ready.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on our yogurt adventure. I hope you're as excited as we are. And we will see you on our next video. Bye-bye. Put in your apricot jam.
Oh, you put apricot in yours too?
Yes.
What are we going to do when we're out of apricot
I know.
jam?
We only have one jar after this.
Oops, I put a little too much in. Uh-oh.
You're gonna go crazy. We better get more apricots next year.
I know.
All right.
I'll be
First
ready
bite
to.
of delicious yogurt with apricot jam.
There we go.
Cheers. I didn't know yogurt could be so good.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And I'm shocked that that runny, weird stuff from this morning turned into
I know,
beautiful
because you
yogurt.
said it didn't really even have
It
any
didn't
flavor.
smell right, it
anything.
didn't taste right, but it turned into beautiful yogurt.
Yeah. I guess each generation can change.
I guess. I was going to throw it out, but you said, no, let's see what happens. Try to make
Yeah.
another batch. I'm glad I listened to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was right at least once today.
You're right a lot.
I'm really anxious to hear. I'm hopeful we'll get people from around the world that have had and enjoy yogurt,
And how they
maybe
enjoy
even
it.
wild yogurts,
Yeah.
of how to enjoy it with different foods and how they make it. And I can't believe there's like 35.
We have a whole new world of yogurt opening out to us. I'm excited. And homemade is so much cheaper than
Oh
buying it.
yeah. Well,
It's better and
it
it's
is
cheaper.
the fresh, clean taste of it. It's amazing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it, love it.
Yeah,
It's a good bedtime snack.
I know. I think folks are going to think we're weird, getting so pumped up over enjoying yogurt.
We are.